What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And after quite a long while, we're back with another episode. I hope everyone had a fun and safe Halloween season this year. I know I sure did. I was helping out at my local workplace, handing out candy to some of the kids and their families, and it was an absolute joy to experience, let me tell you. Although after a while, it got a little bit overwhelming because there were just so many people on the streets just looking for treats. It was insane. But in the end, it was very amazing because you get to see a lot of cool costumes and you get to interact with the community, so not too many things to complain about there. I got to dress up in my little Mr. Terrific costume that I got off Amazon, and I was kind of surprised that it fit me quite well. I mean, I normally don't get a medium size, but this time it actually came in handy. I even forced my dog to dress up as Crypto in a TikTok video I recorded, so that was also really fun to do. But of course, I'm here to talk about the newest releases that came out these past several weeks. And I think for this episode, we're going to focus on a star who had a wonderful, even spectacular Halloween season this year. So yeah, we're going to be talking about some dance pop in this episode, plus some new releases from various musicians, and we got our artist on the rise, who I'm very thrilled to be discussing today. So I think I'm done with all the chit-chat. We should just get into this episode. So grab yourself a nice Kit Kat bar and sour airhead, because the sun is up for the sum up. Keeping up the pop album reviews this month with child star turned singer Demi Lovato. This year she's come out with the half-hour-long record, It's Not That Deep. As all of us young people know, Demi first emerged as a Disney Channel actress, appearing in works like Camp Rock, Sunny with a Chance, or as I was first introduced to her, As the Bell Rings. I'm still hoping for a Tony Allard collab, by the way. After her days with the Mouse ended, she focused more on her music, releasing albums like Unbroken and Demi. These resulted in hits such as Give Your Heart a Break and Heart Attack, very heart-themed. As we go further into the 2010s, she would have a few more hits like Cool for the Summer and Sorry Not Sorry. After 2017, she took more of a backseat from hitmaking, because to address the elephant in the room, Demi has gone through a ton of mental health struggles behind the scenes, and some of them have even turned her to substance abuse. I can't speak on what exactly has happened in her personal life because I don't know her, but it's easy to tell Demi has embarked on her own special journey with her internal conflicts. She even opened up about some of them on her last LP, Holy Fuck. Demi has always experimented with different styles, including pop, rock, and R&B, so it'll be interesting to see what the Albuquerque star is serving us in 2025. We'll be getting back to Demi Lovato in just a few moments, but for now I want to talk about my 4 to blast for this half of October. These are singles that I think could do a lot to shake up the charts or really impress listeners, so I think you should all give them a shot. Without further ado, I'm now going to talk about my 4 to blast. The first song we're talking about is Clean by Alessia Cara. It's such a shame that many listeners have lost interest in Alessia Cara because she's still turning out great material to this day. Her latest album, Love and Hyperbole, came out in February, and one track included on the deluxe version is Clean. This is presented as a breakup song where Alessia is telling off her nasty ex and declaring them finished. What makes this track so strong is how the production is constructed to sound edifying and serene. You feel as if you're driving in your car with the top down, taking in the breezy sunny day as you gain a sense of freedom from a weight holding you back. It's literally sounding like Alessia is experiencing a breath of fresh air. Clean is an absolute delight, and hopefully her rendition of the national anthem at the World Series will remind people how gifted she is. Our next song is I Like Your Look by Kim Petras. I've been genuinely impressed with the output of Kim Petras this past year. First was her party banger Freak It, and now she has her lustful song I Like Your Look. We hear Kim sing about the stylish clothes and makeup she's putting on, and we see the reason for this fashionable look is because she wants to impress a crush that is actually taken. Kim displays a strong level of confidence when talking to him, urging him to forget about his girlfriend and just party with her because they look so hot together. Along with the sultry lyrics, we get a slick bass guitar with noisy pop and elaborate synthesizers. Perhaps the biggest highlight is when the melody breaks down before the bridge to let the listeners bust a groove. I Like Your Look has a glamorous attitude, and it proves she deserves attention for way more than just Unholy. Our third single for today is My Muse by Leon Thomas. Honestly, it's crazy how Leon Thomas is finding a ton of new fame even a decade after Victorious concluded. He saw his music blow up thanks to Mutt, and I'm wondering if he can do it again with My Muse. He released it off of Motown Records, and you can clearly tell that from the jubilant violins and the bouncy pianos he sings over. But they still find a way to modernize it and make it work for Leon's more erotic sense of lyrics. He finds himself getting close with a girl who already has a man, but he insists he can treat her much better, talking about the songs he will write and the non-physical intimacy they can experience. I'm noticing a trend where singers are seducing people in relationships already. But I digress. Leon Thomas gives my muse plenty of swag appeal, and uses his funky charisma to really sell the romance. He's a dirty dog for sure. The final song in the For the Blast today is San Andreas by Tommy Richman. Tommy Richman had a stellar breakout year thanks to $1 Million Baby, but now the question is whether he can find any new top 40 success. That might come in the form of San Andreas. The song sees Tommy promising his girl a life of luxury with no stress, but she's not buying it all that much, and now he's struggling to remain in her good graces. The rapper sees a future in their potential California home, but she's not having it whatsoever. It's pretty amusing to see him try and dazzle this woman, especially when he adds in the slick 90s hip-hop production he's become known for. Even with the opening 2 seconds, you hear him pulling up in his car, almost like he's trying to win her over with the riches up front. I'm sure rap fans will be hyped to hear San Andreas because they can't get enough of the Virginia virtuoso. But maybe this should earn Tommy another run in the Hot 100. Be sure to give all of those singles a listen because I think they could do a lot to blow you away. Seriously though, Alessia Cara deserves a second wave of popularity, alright? But I think with all that said, we can now return to talking about Demi Lovato's It's Not That Deep. I remember feeling so much hype for Demi's new album release after hearing the lead single Fast just a few months ago. I was intrigued to see her return to recording dance tracks since it brought me all the way back to my days in high school and college. After giving the record a full listen, I'm happy to report that Demi executes it so well. As I said before, Demi seems very keen on trying out different styles, and surprisingly, her voice can mesh with any of them, including EDM. It's Not That Deep feels like she's performing this entire tracklist at a club, welcoming patrons of all backgrounds and sexualities to dance with her. It creates a perfect environment for any partygoer to have fun with. She primarily relied on producer Kevin Hickey, aka Zone, spelled with an H. And he's worked with artists like Charlie XCX and Kesha, so you know he's legit. I'm also impressed with how much personality the album displays. Oftentimes, EDM producers have the pitfall of watering down their singers' vocals to make it more basic and palatable for listeners. Demi doesn't have that issue because she's fierce enough to give the electronic sound her own flair. The singer uses the dance pop production to sing about wanting to let loose and enjoy herself, getting intimate with other clubgoers. But she also spends time addressing personal demons and trying to heal. She talks about self-hatred and toxic relationships, and she uses the EDM as a way to shake off all the despair. Perhaps Demi titled this LP It's Not That Deep because she acknowledges she's focused a lot on personal issues and wants an opportunity to have fun with listeners. The only track I don't vibe with is Kiss because it reminds me way too much of my first kiss by 303, and I do not want to go back to that era. I also feel like there are moments where Demi uses autotune in areas where she doesn't need to, since her voice is already strong enough. But those are minor gripes in the grand scheme of things. It's always intriguing to see what Demi is serving, and I'm glad to see this record was electric. Yeah, I might find myself returning to a lot of the songs on It's Not That Deep. I mean, they really had some nice production to them, let me tell you. Although it's kind of a bummer that this album isn't getting too much attention, at least when it comes to YouTube. Like, some of those videos haven't even reached like 500,000 views. But I'm sure the Lovatics will get a real kick out of all this craft. In fact, I think I'm reaching the point where I might argue that Demi Lovato is the best vocalist to originate from Disney Channel. I know, that might be a little bit of a spicy take, because I know people like Miley Cyrus and Christina Aguilera, but I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards that position. If anybody agrees with me, I'm happy to hear in the comments. Now, before I close the video, I'm going to give you guys my artist on the rise for the second half of October. This is someone who's been releasing material for quite some time, and I think they're ready to break into the mainstream and really impress the general public. We're going down under for this part of the video, so let's get into it. My artist on the rise for this half of October is Lil Spacely. Lil Spacely is an Australian rapper who hails from Blacktown, and he's been coming out with material since 2017. His parents moved around Africa, being born in Liberia and relocating in Guinea, before they officially settled in Australia when Lil Spacely was 8. After going through his older stuff, I find an MC who slots right into the hip-hop industry. He spits with a super intense flow, and relies on the tightest producers to create fiery beats. Lil Spacely just dropped an album called Forever Trill, and the title track is totally worth a listen. He raps about keeping his feelings real as he looks to overcome hardship from last year. He even utilizes a trap beat that will be perfect for US hip-hop charts. His mind is in the zone, and he's looking for better days. So, if you're sick of Iggy Azalea, give Lil Spacely a shot. Yeah, I know people aren't exactly too familiar with Australian hip-hop. I sure as hell am not. But I think that Lil Spacely could really wow some listeners, especially people who enjoy rap. But with all that said, we are just about finished here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of The Sum Up. I had some fun with this one. I hope you did as well. And I hope you have a fun time chowing down on some candy. I mean, I sure got a lot to finish because I had an entire bowl set up for trick-or-treaters, but no one came by my place, and now I gotta find something to do with it. If anybody's really hungry for Twizzlers or gummy bears, please let me know. But in the meantime, if you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description, and that is where we are wrapping up. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care. Letting no one touch it, cause it's too respected. Rather be the only one that's different if they're all the same.